Let's face it, Calgary may not be the activity entertainment super hub that other cities are. We don't have a fun-for-all mega amusement park complete with adrenaline-inducing roller coasters. We don't have a ginormous water park to spend your afternoons at. You won't find any dedicated bungee jumps here or a professional race car speedway circuit. But for what we lack, we do have a growing number of intimate and enjoyable entertainment options. Whether it's axe throwing with your coworkers or friends, bouncing away in a large trampoline-covered space, or the latest craze of puzzle-rich escape rooms, Calgary is certainly holding its own within the realm of quirky, innovative entertainment activities. Hey Calgary, I'm Kevin Chorney. Thanks for joining us. Tonight we're talking about all things Indian entertainment in Calgary. I'm joined by Edwin Choi from The Locked Room. And our man, you recognize this guy, I'm sure. Adam Henry, of course, from the Rant Pack. Adam and I actually had an opportunity not long ago to visit Edwin and staff at The Locked Room. We gave it a go. We got a little video that we'll show you along with the rest of the show here. Now, Edwin, first and foremost, tell me what exactly is an escape room for those viewers that maybe don't know?
An escape room is an interactive entertainment experience. It can last any amount of time, but the ones that we run in town are 60 minutes. And players will go in as a team. They'll have a chance to put away their belongings, most notably their cell phones, and they'll have to work together to communicate and solve different problems and work as a team to complete their way through different challenges and puzzles with a goal of trying to either complete a mission or escape from the room in most of the cases.
Yeah, and it's all about puzzles, right? It's all about clues, story, there's a lot involved. So how did the business come to be from start to finish? If you don't mind sharing, what built The Locked Room?
Well, these type of interactive escape adventures originally come from Asia, with where a lot of wacky ideas come from. But I first played these in Europe, in Prague actually. My girlfriend and I were there for a holiday. And on TripAdvisor, despite the great architecture, the castles, the beer,
lots to see in Prague for sure,
the pub crawls, all the fun stuff, the top things to do were to get trapped in a room and try to solve your way out of it. Cool. So we went and played a couple of these games. We were hooked on it, and it was actually her idea to bring the idea back to Calgary. She thought that people here would love it. It'd be crazy contagious. Yeah. And I had a couple of contacts, a couple of friends that were into kind of wacky business ideas. They have the zombie theme run that happens in Cochrane, and they also do Holiday Rejects, which is a Christmas sweater store, and they've had a couple of appearances on Dragon's Den for that. So these were the perfect guys to pitch this idea to. It kind of took shape from there. We tested it with kind of a smaller location, and it just snowballed into something that Calgary really accepted really well.
Clearly, you guys are killing it. You're busy. Yeah, 3 different locations, is that right?
Yeah, 3 locations now with 12 different rooms, and we're pretty much booked up pretty far in advance on weekends. So if you want to come out on a Saturday, you should probably book about 3 weeks in advance.
3 weeks in advance nowadays.
Yeah.
Wow, good for you guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've done The Locked Room. Obviously, we did it together.
Did.
What is it? What makes it so popular around town? What do you think? Is there something that specifically allures you?
I can't speak for anybody else, but for myself personally, I think it's more along the lines of a psychological thing. And I consider myself not the smartest person, but not the dumbest person in the world either.
Sure.
Thinking I could solve some of these puzzles. I think I solved about one. In that entire hour we were in there, I solved one of the many puzzles that were in Edwin's room there. Yeah, and then I found out after he threw us in the hardest room, so I didn't feel as dumb. But it's psychological. I think people want to solve things, like the yearning to learn.
The challenge.
Yeah, the challenge, exactly, right? Can I mountain bike up this hill? Can I hike up this hill? Can I ski down this mountain?
In that regard, it's a pretty unique experience, The Locked Room. It was definitely full of like I say, intriguing, clever puzzles. I know that you're personally responsible for a lot of those puzzles, the concepts of the room. Walk me through that. Because there's a lot going on in there. How does that come to be?
Well, there's actually quite a bit to the design part of it. We want to create a really unique, immersive environment for people. We want to create a believable environment, and captivating story. We want to have interesting things for people to interact with, and most of all, we want you to have a great time, have a fun time. Yeah. So it's a fine line between balancing puzzles and creating fun things for people to do. If you paid for a 1-hour experience and you finished in 10, 15 minutes, well, you'd probably not feel like you got your money's worth. But we want you to go in there, scratch your head a bit, explore, search around.
Well, there was some head scratching, that's for sure, for all of us that were in there.
Get a little bit frustrated and, slightly angsty with your team, and then solve something and have a great aha kind of moment and kind of celebrate your victories there as you tackle the next challenge. So, like Adam said, it creates that adrenaline feeling, that challenge for people. Yeah. And as you guys know, the time goes really fast in there.
Yeah.
Oh, it certainly does. Yeah. I learned, unfortunately, that my detective skills after being in the locker room are pretty bush league, frankly. Like, I'm at best a garbage gumshoe, okay? Yeah. That said, I mean, what did you learn, Adam, about you personally?
I learned that there's certain, being in Canada, it's a little different. You don't take the SAT test, but there's a logic section, and I was terrible at it. And I now know why. There was just certain things, and in the room we were in, we were given clues that made sense after I solved the puzzle or after someone solved. Oh, that's how you do it, right? But for my brain, it didn't work that way. But it's the anticipation, and plus there's a clock in the corner telling you how much time you have.
Pressure.
The pressure, I kind of like the pressure and stuff like that. I'm used to fast-paced, high-energy environments. So, for me, learning different things and how to think differently is always a good thing. I'll go back and do a different room.
I would definitely go back again. To be fair,
for sure.
Obviously, is that part of the process though as well? You're not just thinking. You got to think outside the box. You're trying to, obviously, it's not just about the way your mind works. You're trying to think about how other people are going to put things together. It must be challenging.
Well, we want it to be fun and accessible for many different types of people. We get a lot of team builders coming in. We have a lot of engineers. We have different types of professionals come in, people that are good with numbers, people that are good with words. Yeah. And it's not necessarily a focus on any particular skill set. So you could have people that are very good at their day jobs that have a very technical position, yet when they come in they get a bit flustered or the puzzles aren't really the way that their mind thinks. So it works really well as a team activity. Well, right? Yeah, and we want it to be a team activity. We don't want people coming in and hogging everything and solving everything. It's really a team effort, and that's kind of the beauty of the activity as well. You don't have your cell phone there. You're kind of forced to talk to your friends and see if you can survive for an hour.
A lot of people are uncomfortable putting their cell phone down for an hour. It's probably something we could all do a little bit more.
I could throw this thing away tomorrow and not really care. If my company would let me, I would.
That said, we're going to check out our first video. Here is, our initial experience. Take number 1 at the locker room. 5 players, 1 mystery. Only the strong will survive. This is Calgary Now, Locked Room Edition. So there's a letter. It reads, Journal entry January 1st, 2016. It feels good to get out of the city and into the secluded estate in the woods. This old estate has a quaint and quiet study where I'll be able to get my writing done in peace. It also has an old foot
organ.
Foot organ. That's out of this world. Without revealing any details, we eventually cracked the case. Well, one of several, in fact, but our newly gained hope was quickly crushed when we opened the box to reveal another letter.
So now that's order. This will be the second clue we have to solve here.
Okay, journal entry January 28th, 2016.
I know what those are for.
There's some seriously creepy imagery in this room. I pulled out a cabinet drawer and found a green box with a weird demonic symbol engraved on it. That one over there. Yeah. This study is creeping me out.
That's it?
Yeah, don't look.
Green box. Demonic symbol. Okay, so that was us enjoying the room as a group. We were all, friendly. We were familiar with one another in that space. It was a good time, great time. Let me ask you this though, Adam. If you're in that room and everyone in there is a perfect stranger, how do you think that would have changed the experience that you had in there?
I don't know. I think it could be good and it could be bad. It's like any episode of manufactured reality TV. If you put a bunch of people in there that are going to have personality clashes, you never know, right? It could be fun if there was a bunch of just complete strangers and they weren't vetted prior. It's like, oh, this guy's an idiot. Let's put him with a super smart guy. You know what I mean? So if you were to do it completely randomly, I think it'd be okay.
Is this something you've entertained, the idea of just putting perfect strangers together and letting them have a go at it, like a theme night, I guess?
Well, the way that our rooms actually work, it's on a ticket-based system. So each room has a certain number of tickets allocated for a time slot. So if you don't actually have all the tickets for a spot purchased, then it's possible that others can also be joining you. We do actually end up with different groups interacting with each other and mingling with each other. A lot of times it goes really well. Sometimes less than 1% of the time, I would say. You kind of hit that perfect storm of personalities that don't match. Maybe a few too many alphas in the room, or just some people that are just not having a great day. So it does happen, but for the most part, people have a great time. We try to focus on the positive part of it. You meet some new people. Sometimes people keep in touch, or they want to return with those people because they really enjoyed the activity. And plus, as you know, the rooms would be really difficult with a smaller group. So
of course it would be.
I think having more people on your team is generally to your advantage.
You know what would be cool, though, I think, off the cuff? You get like couples night together, right? Where you have people that want to, suppose maybe they got kids at home, they get a night out, they don't have, a big circle of friends. What a great way to go meet people and just interact and really learn a lot about somebody in a short period of time.
Yeah, so you got space for 4 couples, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Something to
so
consider.
So, as in people heading out with their friends, or you mean they sign up as a couple and they'll join
like
other
me and the
couples?
wife, we show up, and then maybe Adam and his gal, so we don't know each other, perfect strangers, and you kind of just that camaraderie. You've got that one person that you know, so you can kind of lean on and kick problems around together. But then you've got the obviously a room full of perfect strangers, couples themselves, everyone's in the same boat. I think it could fly.
I think it would. Yeah,
it would fly pretty well
for sure.
All right, let me ask you this then. I need to know the dirt. I mean, that's it. I know there's cameras in the rooms, right? So obviously you're looking at what people are doing. You want to make sure that property's being maintained the way it should, and that people aren't getting too stumped and they're having an enjoyable experience. That said, what are some of the more memorable groups that you've had through the locked room?
Well, we have an intro video at the beginning of the game now, and it tells people no brute force needed, no climbing required, and no digging required. And those last 2 clauses sound absurd, because why would you want to climb out the ceiling, or why would you try digging in the ground? But the reason that they're in the video is because people try that.
Okay.
Also, one other thing that we have at our north location, sometimes we like to joke around and tell people, electrical sockets are not part of the game, so no fingers, keys, anything else you might be so inclined to stick in there. And well, we haven't seen it happen, but we don't really want to see
plan for the
that situation. But we have had a fair number of people try to climb out the ceiling at
that's time for my favorite saying, can't stop stupid.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, though, if you don't mind.
Sure, of course.
Have you ever had somebody freak out because they feel claustrophobic?
Well,
is that an issue?
What tends
it's a
to
big
happen.
room.
Yeah. But you are confined to it.
Yeah, some people's minds just don't work that way.
That's a good point.
Well, we do have a lot of people that have some anxiety about this activity. We've had people contact us if their work is doing a team builder, and they're a bit nervous about heading out to this team event. But most of our rooms have a good amount of space. There's also an emergency key, basically a panic button, that people can use if they want to leave at any time. And also people are free to visit the facility and check out the rooms prior to their booking or prior to their actual their team builder.
Get an idea, feel for what they're getting into.
Yeah, exactly. We've got nothing to hide there. There's no pop-out scares. We want you to come in and have some good clean fun. You
guys built the place yourself, like literally, right?
Yeah, we did a lot of the construction ourselves. We had a few friends give us a hand. We learned a lot along the way. We got to do some really interesting things with the place. A lot of the stuff that requires a bit of pre-planning for some of the electronics or even just the layout of the rooms. I mean, they're just not standard
materials. I mean, like the walls, for example. I mean, you've got there's art on the walls that some would be decorative, some may or may not be for the puzzle. I'm not going to give anything away, but yeah, you're going to get people wrenching on things. And I found that everything there was so secure. I mean, you guys put in a lot of work.
I've worked in a lot of bars in my life, and that room was secure than most bars I've worked in.
How did you go about that?
Well, I guess I'll give away one of our secrets here. We actually have OSB or wood in all the walls. So they're framed with wood. There's actual wood sheets there so that you can stick a screw into anything. It's fastened down pretty well.
Nobody can punch it, right?
I mean, some of our rooms have some pretty heavy pieces, but people will still move anything that they can. Anything that you can get a grip on, they will pull at, yank at, tear at. Basically, if a company ever wants to test something for quality purposes, give it to an escape room, and we'll put it in there, and we'll see how fast people can break it for you.
Yeah, very clean as well, was it not?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's great. Yeah.
Clean, well built, accessible to anybody as well, I felt.
Absolutely.
We're going to check in one more time. We got, take number 2 with our, a little journey into the locked room. Check it out.
There's 21 minutes left.
When we last left our heroes, they were seeking for a strange satanic box. Well, we found it. Without much time to spare, we had to find another clue, and fast, if we were going to beat the odds. Things were looking pretty grim until some hands-on teamwork revealed a secret location. Now we're cooking with gas. Or the eternal flames of hell. Or one of the two. For the purposes of keeping it spoiler-free, I'm not going to tell you how exactly we opened that door, but I'll tell you one thing. That room has a 14% escape rate for a reason.